questions.
In the middle sector,
No, it doesn't. This is a software / MEMS device problem. It's the only way I can explain it or accept that it even happens the way it happens. Okay? The software part of it is because it only happens with a television satellite signal. Whatever HDMI cord I'm running in the back makes no difference. It is something that is within the satellite signal itself that the box and that signal don't get along. There is something in that broadcast. Now, if I take the HDMI plug, because people have asked, if I take right then, while it's playing right now, if I take that HDMI out of there and I plug it into that TV right there, there will be no defects. I have another Samsung 7 series that are a few walls over that has a direct line there on the Roku, or on her satellite Genie rather. And with her Genie, I can go watch the same recording right now and there's no defects. So it doesn't happen on the Roku. It doesn't happen on the DirecTV Genie box that's hooked up to the wireless system. It doesn't happen on my Blu-ray player. It doesn't happen on my PlayStation at all, or my Xbox, which is why I tell people I still love the product, because of what I'm looking at right now. My eye is being immediately drawn to the defects, and this is why it pisses me off so bad, because without really Formula One and very few like satellite launches, I want to see Elon's giant spaceship make it to fucking space. I really want to see that. I want to see it re-entry successfully. I want to see man advance. That kind of thing is, without that, I would have no other need to have a TV other than gaming. There is no outside source, no television shows. Very little of television appeals to me. I pick that shit apart like hotcakes. It's not. Yeah. It is a combination. It has to be. The defects are identical. What's being reflected on those little mirrors, okay, is producing the fucking artifact exactly. Which means the projector itself is projecting that image. It is projecting, or either maybe not projecting, those pixels. It's hard. You can't say pixels because they're little mirrors on the chip, the DLP chip. So it doesn't happen with any other device. It doesn't happen on any other television using the same DirecTV box. This is Andrew, my DirecTV guy, okay? That guy has flat busted his ass to make damn sure that there's nothing faulty in their equipment. Now, that is not to say that this signal isn't something that's standard with satellite. Whenever you're watching Formula One with Sky News and their satellite, okay, but then when I change the channel, there it is on a totally different program, totally different satellite system. No matter what I do, it keeps falling back to the projector. God, I would be so happy if I tried it and I used a different HDMI cable, the $37 cable instead of the $36 cable, the one. I'd be so happy. I'd put those cables everywhere in my damn house. It's not a matter of that. It just keeps going back. See, that signal is being reproduced. Those fucking MEM chips are making that shape in a very consistent manner every single time, except for, well, that's the point. Is last 2 weeks ago, there were no defects on the screen. Same satellite system. Repaired, everything was repaired then, and we were waiting until today to see if it was 100%. I even made a video saying it's 100%. Well, no, I shouldn't have fucking done that, and I deleted the video. Because the defects are here. So how do you rationalize that when it's so fucking contradictory in a process of elimination? It's very frustrating, okay? It has to be the MEMS chip and something it doesn't like, or their software, okay? Their telecasting software, there's something in that signal that it doesn't like. When it's coming from these sources, maybe it's because it shows up on other channels. So it just shows up less. And in some channels, I see nothing. And I believe that's because it's a shitty fucking signal. You're probably getting 1080p minimum. You know what I mean? It just goes back to the projector. That's all. And I said I couldn't recommend you to buy one until the problem is fixed, but that's not true because not everyone's a Formula One fan and they won't be affected like me. Because this is one of the pure things in life that I get to enjoy. This is one of the points where I feel pretty damn rich. It's like I get to watch Formula One in another fucking country. It's a race series I've followed as long as I can remember. Jackie Stewart was a fucking young man when I was watching Formula One. God, I'm old. And this is where it chooses to show up. Man. God, I could do a fucking 3-hour video on that. It has to be the projector. It has to be something in that signal is not compatible with the MEMS device. Something in some signals, because again, it happens on other channels. But it doesn't happen on any other normal television. That points to the projector. Right? Change all the cables, brand new satellite system from top to bottom, brand new. All components new, not used or rebuilt, new. Problems still exist. Do it with or without a switch. Problem still exists. Do it in HDMI port 1, 2, or 3. Problem still exists. Because it is part and parcel of that signal in the DirecTV box. The DirecTV box can't do anything about it. It is being broadcast, period. That signal is being carried by that same wave. That information is there. Right? And because these TVs don't operate the way the projector does in broadcasting the picture, they don't show the defects that are so incredibly obvious to me right now looking at them. It's back to the projector again. So it is a software technical issue that they are going to have to work out. Okay? I can tell you right now that the television network that bought Formula One, they're not going to be changing their billion-dollar industry for some projector company in America. Not going to happen. And I'm hoping that a lot of people who bought this certain projector aren't having the issues I have. I have a very serious problem with not having a newsletter or something. I get lots of fucking information in my mailbox from AWOL telling me, oh, look at the new shit we've got. Oh, is that the one where you fixed your DLP chip problem? You know what I mean? I despise that kind of fucking behavior. You know me. This is Yeah, I hate that. Send me a fucking newsletter saying, yeah, we're working on this. We don't understand what it is. You know, thank you for your patience. And I'd be totally fucking happy because 90% of my viewing, it actually, 50% of my viewing is racing. I don't watch much TV. I don't know. I'd like them just to say, yeah, everyone's having the same problem you are. Because if not, then I got a broken projector. And it's not an inherent problem, and now I feel worse. Not that I want everyone else to have shitty pictures like I have. But it goes right back to the projector every single time. That's my satellite guy again. When I told him, he was like, "Oh shit!" Because last weekend I told him, I said, "Hey man, it looks like it's fixed. I'm gonna have to blame DirecTV," and he was like, "It's not DirecTV." He says, "Otherwise it would be showing up on the other TVs," and he's right. Because we can do it right now. It's not like, oh, this week we do it, and next week, and the conditions have changed. No, I have this recording on my DirecTV box, and I can unplug it and plug it into this TV, and you will not see any defects. Projector. My only hope was last weekend when I said, okay, that's it. I'm 100% convinced now because there's no defects today. The picture was fucking stunningly beautiful. And I thought, oh man, life is good. My hobby. This is my hobby. My AV system is my hobby for gaming. Okay, sim racing. Yeah. I mean, this is my window pane into that alternate reality where I'm still able to drive a car fast. I do miss the life that I was privileged to lead. Okay. I have other people who've been monitoring this, and I send them a message, and they're like, okay. Especially the two people down in San Rafael who already purchased projectors on my. I told them this is the one to get. Get the 3500 and 120-inch screen. There's no need for 150 inches. You can if you want to, and then bring it down to a. But the 150-inch screen is going to be gigantic in your guys' houses. I can tell you because I've been there. 150-inch screen is like fucking ginormous. It took me, I'm still sometimes have to get used to the 120 because I have to look like this. That's looking at that edge. That's looking at that edge. There's the top up there. There's the bottom down there. It's huge. And it's brighter because you're actually getting to, take that and bring it in just like you would adjusting any flashlight, right? The same amount of light in a smaller area is going to give you more lumens on the screen. Damn. It's back to the projector. It's the only thing. It's really as soon as you unplug this and plug it in over there, and there's no defect, and that there's nothing. This TV is fucking awesome right now. Okay. People are asking $10,000 for that TV right there, right now on eBay. One of them's more than that, $10,499. That TV right there, that 65-inch 3D, ultra high definition, smart, wireless included, all that shit. With the the remote that's basically like a mouse on the screen, that specific model right there. No defects when this is plugged in over there. If any TV was going to have the fidelity to show it, would be this one right here. They stopped making these because they just couldn't make money and they were too expensive, and they were failing. Because big TVs don't like to be moved. You get a short around the outside of the TV, you get a short, and they just don't like to be moved. Okay, if you have to move it 2 or 3 times in your lifetime, odds are you're going to get fucked. Once, yes. Twice, maybe. 3 times, you're really pushing your luck. 4, I'm thinking if it's the TV's more than a few years old and it's been sitting getting hot and cold, 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 right? And now you're going to go move that. That thing is frozen in place through that thermal cycling process. And that's why when you go to pick them up, you hear them going creak, crack, creak, 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 creak. Because all the components, all the little screws, everything is all now being flexed. And the bigger the TV, the less they like to be moved, which is why I went with the projector. I think I could have gotten by with a 110-inch TV, and I would have paid more than this projector. It wouldn't have looked anywhere near as good as this projector. Yeah, it might have been faster and had a few more features than the projector, okay, but the color reproduction just wouldn't be there. I don't care what technology you have. Giant fucking $20,000 OLED 100-inch TV. No, the root in the feature is projectors. And I knew that 5 years ago when I decided I'm never ever going to spend money on, because I mean the 72-inch TV of that model right there, okay. I have no idea what that thing's worth now. If they're asking, you know, 5 to 10,000 for that TV, what's the 75-inch one worth? By the way, I got screwed on that one. Huh. It's got to be the projector. Okay? It's process of elimination. I do appreciate everyone thinking because they've had a similar circumstance in their life, and so have I. First thing I do, check the power supply. Then check the connectors. Make sure the connector's all good. Okay? If you have some kind of a fidgety connector where things are connecting, not connecting, connecting, not connecting, that'll screw you every time. But you know what it is. You know what I mean? You either get a new cable or you replace the receptacle or both. Back in business. DLP chip, I can't do that with a projector. There's no repair I can do on this thing. I wish they would have put doors on the side to clean the fans. That's my only thing with this projector. Otherwise, I'm just pissed off that they're ruining my fucking hobby. And so I said, don't buy one. But that's not true. I would still recommend people buy one because they're just so fucking amazing. The point is that it is a defect and it is in the projector. And the shit that I got from my first trade-in, that one was way bad. So it had one on the left, one on the right, and one in the middle. And it looked like extremely complicated racetracks. Not ziggity-zag like that, like a V. All of them had a radius. And each shape was identical every single time. And you have 3 lasers. I don't believe in coincidence. When I got the new projector, it was fine for the first few weekends, and then the defect showed up. Except now it wasn't the triple one, it was this current one. Exactly the same shape. Just the way those other 3 held exactly the same shape. That is a fucking DLP chip problem. I've said many times that I've never had a DLP chip that lasted more than a couple of years, and they started failing. Not a single one, because that was 98, somewhere in there. When Circuit City closed, I bought 3 65-inch Samsung DLP 3D capable. Although 3D wasn't in the TV, you had to buy another unit on the outside to flash the glasses, but it was capable. We never could get it to work, by the way. That was, 98, something like that. None of those products lasted more than 2 years. After a year, I had one fail in a small way, and then over a period of the next year, they all 3 failed magnificently. I gave one to my buddy, and it failed on him, like really quick. There's nothing you can do once those mirrors stop operating, but this is a DLP chip problem. That worries me. That is the long-term. That's the long-term kind of issue and problem you don't want to see in a product, is that the DLP chip is going to have a problem. If you're going to spend money to build a product, and I think these guys were brilliant in the product they wanted to make, but like anything else, like a Formula One car, you build the car, but then it takes a long time to get it all fine-tuned and to change this part out and figure out what's failing and why is it failing and how do we fix it and make it stronger but not heavier, et cetera, right? if they're doing that with these projectors, okay. But the people who bought the legacy units like me, okay, in the first 2 years of your production, yeah, you're gonna have to take care of those people. There's nothing worse than having a problem, knowing it. See, this is what, when you look at how Chevrolet lied about the little spring that held the ignition on on one of their cars that was causing accidents. People were hanging too much weight on their keychain, and they would hit a bump or something, and it would go clunk and turn the car off, and these people would have no steering and no brakes. And then they lied. After killing lots of people, they lied. They said, oh, well, no, see, here's the switch. Well, what they had done is they had changed out that spring for another spring. When they found out what was going on, they changed out the spring and gave it the same part number. That's on the record. Fucking GM gave that replacement part the same part number. One of the engineers who's worked in the automotive industry his whole life, okay, this guy's like knows it all. He says he had never seen a part in the industry that had received the same part number on top of the old one. That it was always given another part number or a sub part number. See, that's just shitty fucking business practice because they have no honor. Okay. If this is happening on a lot of projectors that they've made, they're keeping it quiet. And if they are, then I'm angry. If I'm just unlucky, I can accept that. Been unlucky my whole life. Don't depend on luck, okay? This is something that interferes with one of my few joys. I spent a ton of fucking money on the system, and it's frustrating. You know what I mean? To have to... I'm doing all their work for them. They don't appreciate it. I had to send them a fucking resume to get them to understand the last time when the problem was really bad. That, hey man, this ain't me. Okay, I don't know what rich Joe Blow you've been fucking dealing with, or some uneducated moron. I don't know who you've been talking to before where you've convinced them to unplug and to change HDMI 1.4 to 2.0 and that's going to solve all your problems. Basically, I told them, I said, well, number one, forcing people to use an eARC is terrible. You see, the only way for me to get enough power out of my optical audio on this is to turn the audio up on the projector very high, and that causes heat. And I found out it was between almost 6 degrees hotter with the volume at 50 as it was at 20. And I said, okay, well, I can't use the projector as a preamp for my AV amplifier using the optical audio. Kind of sucks. But I overcame that because I bought a headphone amplifier down there. That's the one with the red light. I bought that so that my wife, who's hard of hearing, right, could enjoy watching movies. Now, that's something I can live with. I can. 3 HDMI ports being limited, that's something I can overcome and live with. The fan noise doesn't bother me. Nothing. You know what I mean? I'm a satisfied customer who feels jilted. My new person I just married for life is great in bed, but is a criminal. It's the projector. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the projector. There's no doubt about it. And there's also no doubt in my mind it's a DLP chip problem. There's also no doubt in my mind that whatever signal is being transmitted is either not compatible, is out of the range. I can't see that. But it's interacting with the projector in a manner that is showing the exact same defects on multiple channels at multiple times, recording and non-recorded television shows on my DirecTV. So it's not out there. Otherwise, when they, when you're watching Formula One, there's a different network that bought Formula One. I can't remember what it is now. Sun, Star, one of those. Yeah, it's the protector. It really is. It's the protector. I don't want to blame it. I don't, I don't want to say this is what it is. But it's been, how long have I been doing this now? This has been a big struggle. I've got 30 fucking videos on this shit. I put a lot of effort into this because this is my hobby. And my hobby has a giant flaw in it right now, and I would really like to address it and get it fixed. So my eye's not constantly being drawn to this problem like it is now. And I can enjoy my hobby. Damn. Would I still say buy one? Yeah, I would. Because what I'm seeing without the defects is just staggeringly beautiful. Gaming is fun. It serves all my purposes so perfectly. I just love it to death, and at the same time, she's kind of unfaithful. Yeah. Not all the time, but enough to piss you off. Okay, yeah. I hope that answered your question, buddy. I know you're watching.